So in this lesson, we're going to look at simplifying fractions. We're asked to shade 2/4 on the following diagram. So we can see that this square represents a whole and it's split into 4. That's why it's quarters. And then I've shaded 2 of them. Shade a half on the following diagram. Well, I'm going to just shade the top half. And we can see they're the same. So it follows that 2/4 is the same as a half. These are known as equivalent fractions. We'll talk more about that in a second. This is the more simplified version because we can see that the numerator and denominator have no common factor other than 1. In other words, we can't cancel them down. If we look at the 2/4, I can say, well, 2 divides into 2 once, and 2 divides into 4 twice, and that cancels it down to the half. So as we can see from the example above, the two fractions ended up with the same diagram. This is because they are equivalent fractions. That means that if we divide the numerator and the denominator of one fraction by the same value, we end up with the other. And we showed that when we divided the top and the bottom of this one by 2. To simplify fractions, we want to divide our numerator and denominator by the highest common factor. You might remember that terminology from the last test that we did. Or at least the section that I did on whole numbers. You don't have to get there all at once, however. If you have something like 8/16, then clearly the highest common factor is 8. Dividing numerator and denominator by 8 will get you straight down to a half. But if you don't spot that, you can spot they're both even. And you can say, oh, well, that's 4/8. And those are both even. And so if I divide by 2, I get 2/4. And then eventually get down to a half. So you don't have to necessarily use the highest common factor. You can go in stages and get the same result.